consistency is absolutely key when you're an owner, as to in all the different elements of leadership. So consistency in your mood, in the way you turn up to the business on a daily basis, the way you deal with the team, the way you hold and conduct your meetings, following up, being consistent on what you say you'll do, when you'll do it. There's so many different elements of that, but for me, if you're not consistent, then the business will not run effectively and the team will be disgruntled and feel undervalued.
But what is stopping us from being consistent as a salon owner?
Life.
Go on.
Life.
List.
There's so many things that stop us being consistent, so things happen on a daily basis as an owner, don't they? Things crop up, and we often put the importance of being consistent with a lot of my thought process. Consistency runs for the team and for the way you show up, but also for your everyday duties as well. But we have to understand that things crop up on a daily basis, don't they? Someone might be sick, and then that throws everything into a bit of disarray. And I do understand at times that the unplannable happens, and therefore you have to change things, but you still remember that if you absolutely have to, then there's an explanation, and that will happen the following day, or that will happen later that day.
I used to say to my managers, it's all about follow-ups. I don't care what you do, you follow up. If you don't follow up, you will lose momentum with it, and more than likely 6 months or a year down the line, you're not using the system that you once thought was actually amazing, and that's what we need to do. I think there's a decision to be made. I think if you really... If you want to be consistent and you're not consistent, or you start something and it quickly goes something else, because like you said, life happens, there's got to be a decision making of this is important enough for me to be consistent on it.
Yes.
So procedures and processes are important enough for me to be consistent on it and for me to follow up on it. So if it's important and it's going to change either the direction or the way you're functioning, or the way the team view you, and therefore change the whole ethos of the business in some ways.
Yes.
Not ethos, but culture, of the business. Then you're going to make an importance of it, and you will be consistent. I'm trying to think of example of consistency that,
I think that I see a lot when I'm talking to teams, maybe from this direction. When I'm talking from teams, if the owner isn't consistent, it leaves them feeling very unsettled and very unsure of what's going on. Now, I don't for a second think the owner needs to be in the business all of the time, but if you don't communicate to the team properly that you are doing this, or this is happening because of this, then the team just they're left wondering and making their own assumptions. So not that the team needs to know your every move, but they just need to know what's happening. And equally, if you've got someone in charge and the structure's there to take that, great. But also I see as well that in some cases, the consistency of the owner's mood and the way they show up on a daily basis. They're when it's going well, they're up here. When it's down, they're down here, and so on. And so they're on a roller coaster. But I think you have to be very careful as an owner that's that the team sees you consistently, in a mindset, even if you don't feel that way.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's some oversharing, isn't it? And we really misunderstand or I guess underestimate the whole aspect of your mood, for example, or if you say you're going to do something, you do it, and then it's not consistent in the back of that because you forget about it, you've been too busy.
Yes.
Like the team meeting is another example.
Yeah, that
a lot of people were on holiday, so what?
Yes.
You still had 4 people that were there, and that might need that push, and actually even more needed than ever because there was only 4 of them.
Yeah.
But we're just on that kind of mindset of we have to have everyone in order to... But to me, that's not consistent. If you said you're going to do meetings every month, you do it regardless. You do the notes, you give them to the people who are on holiday, etc. So consistency, I think, to me, is perhaps one of the biggest issues of the salon owner.
I agree.
Yeah.
And just to take a step back from that, in order for you to be consistent as an owner as well, it's being consistent in your own structure and your own way in which you're operating, either outside or inside the business. And that's something we work on a lot with our clients, is their consistency of their own life first of all, and their own personal life, business life, and then how that gels or rolls out rather through the team.
Thank you for joining us. We really enjoy sharing our thoughts on various topics. If you have a burning question, simply comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button to keep up to date with each new episode.